The future of Hollywood is being battled out right now in theaters as two live-action remakes from the biggest studios in Hollywood go head-to-head.
Rachel Zegler's spot in Disney's 2025 live-action double-star Snow White reboot lit up Hollywood gossip columns the second it was announced. Almost overnight, the movie became a battleground where ride-or-die fans of the 1937 classic industry power brokers and curious casual viewers all clashed over Disney's newest fairy tale remix. The flames roared even higher when Rachel boldly told reporters the original felt outdated and had to be revamped for today's crowd. Words that poured gasoline on an already sizzling debate.
Rachel Ziegler then inexplicably continued to post herself in an empty theater for her own movie. She's literally the only person there. Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
Chicken joe.
On top of the existing firestorm, whispers of a behind-the-scenes blow-up with co-star Gal Gadot began swirling, paired with tense showdowns against Disney execs and a rapid-fire streak of scrapped press events. Fans openly wondered if the 2025 Snow White reboot was flat-out cursed. Then, just when everyone thought the drama had peaked, an even juicier twist dropped. Insiders claim Rachel Zegler is now throwing shade at the upcoming Minecraft movie, accusing it of siphoning studio cash, manpower, and marketing mojo right when Snow White needs every ounce of help to claw its way back into Hollywood's good graces.
Warner Brothers' Minecraft movie versus Disney's Snow White, which in theory should be quite a battle, but it's not even a fair fight.
Social media timelines practically short-circuited as fans tried to wrap their heads around one burning question. How did a totally separate Minecraft movie suddenly get dragged into Snow White's chaos? Behind the curtain, industry insiders claim Rachel Zegler is convinced Disney yanked key marketing dollars, promo teams, and even top-tier exec attention off Snow White and tossed it straight at the pixel-powered blockbuster. In her eyes, that last-minute pivot hijacked the only real shot Snow White 2025 had left to polish its battered image and win back skeptical audiences, turning a shaky comeback into yet another PR nightmare.
Snow White, of course, famously played by the insufferable girl boss narcissist, who's just clinical at this point, saying that audiences will always line up to see her no matter what she does.
Every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Already wrestling with the backlash from a searing South Park parody that took aim at both her performance and personality, Rachel was reportedly livid that another project, yes, even one outside the Disney fold, had managed to snatch away the much-needed spotlight. She believed that every bit of attention mattered when it came to giving the Snow White reboot a true chance to shine. Just days before that infamous South Park episode hit the airwaves, Disney's upper echelon, helmed by Bob Iger, was still reeling from a string of underwhelming releases. The fallout from the Daredevil Born Again debacle on Disney+, coupled with growing worries over Marvel's creative direction, had the studio's execs on constant high alert. In this already turbulent environment, Snow White was considered a risky endeavor. The idea of reimagining such an iconic story from 1937 was always bound to attract intense scrutiny. Then, when everyone thought the storm couldn't get any wilder, insiders revealed a surprising twist. A significant slice of Disney's marketing and PR energy was now shifting towards striking high-profile partnerships and aligning promotional activities with the hugely anticipated Minecraft movie.
You know what's interesting about all this is that the only person waiting in line to see Snow White was Rachel Ziegler.
Rachel Zegler reportedly saw this move as a deep betrayal, especially given how turbulent Snow White's press cycle had already been. Rumors swirled that she even confronted Disney executives directly, demanding to know why her film was being pushed into the background by what she dismissed as a so-called video game adaptation. Insiders close to the drama revealed that Rachel was convinced the Minecraft movie was riding a massive wave of hype, an energy surge that rightfully could have been aimed at energizing Snow White instead. Disney's strategic decision to shift its resources for cross-promotional efforts or future deal negotiations ultimately left the Snow White reboot fighting to reclaim the spotlight it desperately needed.
Rachel Ziegler then inexplicably continued to post herself in an empty theater for her own movie. She's literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is?
At that time, there was a lot of uncertainty buzzing among fans about whether Disney had locked in an official partnership with the Minecraft brand. The project itself was shrouded in mystery, with speculation that it might even be created by a completely separate studio. However, these behind-the-scenes whispers hinted that Bob Iger and the top brass were vigilantly monitoring the world of gaming adaptations, keen to see how these projects could further mesh with and boost Disney's overall content strategy. With Minecraft reigning as one of the world's best-selling video games, the sheer scope of its appeal and potential was enormous, making it a major piece of the puzzle in an already dynamic and rapidly evolving entertainment landscape.
Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
Chicken joe!
Many bigwigs in Hollywood thought it was a golden opportunity that everyone simply couldn't afford to miss. But for Rachel Ziegler, that kind of thinking was incredibly frustrating. It meant even fewer resources for her already troubled film, which was drowning under a wave of bad press. Even before the Minecraft movie drama exploded, Rachel's public image had already taken a hard hit from a searing South Park parody, an episode that took jabs at every messy detail of the Snow White meltdown.
And the cops had to escort the rowdy teenagers out. The Minecraft movie is doing something magical. It's creating a live audience reaction event.
In a vividly animated sequence, Rachel is transformed into a fiery diva who unleashes a scathing critique of the 1937 film, labeling it as the wellspring of outdated fairy tale tropes. In this portrayal, she passionately rants about how the new Snow White is destined to rescue society from the relics of old storytelling, all while completely brushing aside the perspectives of her co-stars and even the imagined voices of Disney executives. This bold and irreverent mockery didn't go unnoticed. It exploded across social media, sparking heated debates and capturing the attention of celebrity news buffs everywhere.
Encouraging to see a movie that decided to do the opposite of Snow White, which is, according to all available reviews, including from the people that I trust the very most on this platform.
Social media clips were flying around so fast that by the next morning, hashtags for Snow White, Rachel Ziegler, and Bob Iger's leadership were trending all over the place. Insider reports revealed that Rachel was absolutely livid. She felt the parody was unfairly portraying her as someone who despised the original film and had completely lost her sense of proportion. What made things even tougher was the slick way South Park slipped in references from real-life interviews she'd done, including her passionate remarks about transforming Snow White into something that truly resonates with today's viewers. In the wake of that savage roast, Rachel's anger wasn't just directed at the parody, she was also fuming at her own studio. She believed Disney had failed to stand by her, mishandled the PR crisis, and neglected the promotional commitments laid out in her contract. Adding fuel to the fire, she argued that what she was being shown was just silly fun for kids, not the serious, supportive push her film desperately needed. Her frustration soared further when it became clear that Disney was busy with other projects, allegedly including the Minecraft movie, at a time when Snow White really needed urgent attention. The timing couldn't have been worse. In the weeks leading up to this chaos, Disney had systematically canceled her talk show appearances and other promotional opportunities, with official statements dismissing these moves as nothing more than scheduling conflicts.
It is non-political. The Minecraft movie does not try to beat you and box you about the ears with the message.
However, several insiders insisted that the real aim was to steer clear of even more fiery comments that could push away the die-hard fans of the original. In fact, Rachel's earlier interviews had already sparked a major clash with the purists who treasured the timeless, innocent charm of the 1937 classic. This led many to wonder if her push to update the narrative had gone too far, ultimately erasing the very magic that made the film so beloved.
And so let's see how they fared against each other. The Minecraft movie breaks box office record with $300 million global opening, while woke Snow White slips again.
Amid all the back and forth, Rachel herself began to feel utterly stifled. She couldn't shake the suspicion that if Disney was so determined to muzzle her, maybe they had lost faith in her vision for the film. Or, even worse, were secretly pivoting toward a flashier project like the Minecraft movie. At the same time, the tension between Rachel and Gadot only fanned the flames of speculation. The two were spotted actively avoiding one another at a major awards ceremony, which sent gossip swirling that they were locked in a fierce behind-the-scenes power struggle. One insider even remarked something along the lines of, "I was really expecting the Minecraft movie to completely bury Snow White," while rumors soon emerged that Rachel found some of Gal's off-the-cuff lines on set so intrusive that they threatened to steal the spotlight from the titular character. Industry observers noted that this on-set friction was only one symptom of a production falling apart. What was supposed to be a straightforward big-budget Disney remake of an iconic tale had morphed into a swirling storm of canceled promo segments, whispered about script rewrites, and now an actress fuming that attention was being hijacked by a video game adaptation. Inside Disney, the atmosphere was nothing short of tense. Bob Iger, renowned for his savvy leadership, found himself battling crises on all fronts, from the aftermath of the Daredevil Born-Again debacle and growing concerns over the future of Marvel's cinematic universe to disappointing box office returns. The meltdown surrounding Snow White further amplified this anxiety, especially after news leaked that Rachel was openly blaming the Minecraft movie for hogging crucial resources and undermining her passion project. On the surface, it might seem absurd that two entirely different films could be compared, yet industry analysts were quick to point out that, when it came to allocating resources, Disney would naturally favor the property it deemed safer and more lucrative. For Rachel, that was a crushing sign of lost confidence in both her and the bold reinvention of Snow White. Unsurprisingly, this narrative set off a wildfire of online commentary. Fans took to social media to argue whether Rachel was simply overreacting. After all, some reminded everyone that it was her own public criticism of the original Snow White for being antiquated that had first sparked the backlash. And as the so-called weekend Minecraft movie began dominating box office charts, outperforming even the most optimistic projections, some saw Rachel's grievances as further proof that corporate priorities had shifted. Many people now viewed her as a victim of ruthless studio machinations, one where Disney, chasing bigger profit margins, was shifting its money and clout to the next big thing. Each fresh leak about behind-the-scenes chaos, canceled promotional events, rumored script changes to appease outraged fans of her earlier statements only deepened the perception that Snow White 2025 was spiraling into disarray. All of this unfolded while the production itself was in a state of constant turmoil. Multiple rounds of reshoots were reportedly undertaken in a frantic scramble to salvage a coherent final act, and these additional expenses were weighing heavily on executives who were growing increasingly uncertain if the film could ever recoup its enormous budget. The creative team was also split down the middle. Some crew members pushed to keep the film as close to the original's timeless charm as possible, while others rallied behind Rachel's vision, insisting that only by boldly embracing modern themes could Snow White stay relevant for today's audiences. This tug-of-war over the film's direction hurt team morale, as many felt the production was lacking a clear, unified vision. And when news broke that Rachel was blaming the Minecraft movie for diverting vital resources, it only reinforced the idea that her project was being left to languish. Meanwhile, Gadot kept a conspicuous silence. Insiders speculated that Disney might have even instructed her to refrain from commenting on the controversies, especially the friction with Rachel. Rumors swirled that some of her improvised lines or even whole scenes portraying her as the Wicked Queen were being pared down to placate Rachel, who complained those moments were overshadowing her own character. If true, those changes underscored just how fraught on-set dynamics had become. Remember, this was the same period when South Park's Savage parody, depicting Snow White furiously berating the evil queen for stealing the limelight, had already set social media ablaze. Not long ago, whispers had circulated that if Snow White failed miserably at the box office, other major projects like feminist films or even a potential Frozen 3 could be in jeopardy. Fans began drawing uneasy parallels between all these crises, and in the midst of the chaos, the hype around the Minecraft movie continued to build. Even though details were scarce, the buzz suggested it was gearing up to be a cinematic event of epic proportions, likely brimming with major stars and a massive promotional push. Every tidbit about the Minecraft project further fueled Rachel's suspicions that her Snow White was being deliberately shunted aside. In private, Rachel reportedly confided in close friends that she feared her film was on the brink of becoming Disney's next flop, largely because the studio's promotional juggernaut had pivoted completely away from her project. In Hollywood, success often hinges on the marketing muscle and overall synergy behind a film. If the top executives and promotional teams got swept up by the tantalizing prospects of the Minecraft movie, then Snow White could be left to wither away. Bob Iger, already juggling a slew of corporate crises, found himself in an unenviable position. He had to choose between lifting the strict PR muzzle on Rachel, risking even more incendiary outbursts, or keeping her silenced, which would only confirm her claims that Disney was throwing her under the bus. Rumors of near-daily emergency meetings among Disney's top brass swirled as they deliberated whether to stick with the current troubled approach, rebrand the film with a more traditional vibe, or double down on its modernized storyline, all without a clear, straightforward solution in sight. It became almost laughable how far the situation had deteriorated, especially when Minecraft, the unlikely competitor, was blowing up at the box office. Social media couldn't resist the absurdity when an actress openly blamed a video game movie for her own film's woes. Memes, sarcastic tweets, and witty posts began to circulate, with the phrase "blame Minecraft" evolving into a running joke across the internet. Some fans argued that Rachel was just venting because the studio had truly shifted its focus, leaving her to bear the full brunt of fan outrage without adequate support. In their eyes, the Minecraft movie wasn't so much the real culprit as it was a convenient symbol of an industry that's forever chasing the next big hit. Adding another twist to the drama, rumors emerged that Rachel's legal team was probing whether Disney's decision to cut her out of talk show appearances amounted to a breach of contract. Reports hinted that her deal guaranteed her a certain level of promotional backing, support that, if redirected towards a secretive synergy with the Minecraft movie, might give her grounds to sue or demand a renegotiation. No concrete legal filings ever came to light, but even the mere possibility of such action ignited a fresh wave of gossip about a brewing war between a young actress and the entertainment titan that had once launched her into the limelight. Yet through it all, one burning question continued to echo among fans: would the final movie actually be any good? Despite the non-stop drama, there were still people who genuinely hoped to see how Snow White 2025 might reimagine a classic tale for a modern audience. With its high-budget, star-studded cast and bold creative direction on paper, many believed that if the film could deliver compelling visuals, emotional depth, and standout performances, it might ultimately overcome the surrounding controversy. But every time conversations about the film's quality surfaced, new leaks about on-set friction or Rachel's meltdown would dominate the discussion. After the infamous South Park parody, many joked that the cartoon's image of an irate Rachel ranting and raving might outlast any debate over the film's artistic merits. With the Minecraft movie controversy now tangled into the mix, Snow White 2025 increasingly resembled a high-drama soap opera rather than a straightforward fairy tale revival. As the film edged toward the final stages of post-production, more rumors began to circulate. Entire sequences were reportedly being cut or reworked. Some industry watchers theorized that Disney was scrambling to trim down the film's more controversial elements, a move that might upset Rachel, who had fought fiercely for a transformative take on the classic. Others claimed these tweaks were just standard editing adjustments. Even though none of these whispers could be definitively confirmed, they only added to the growing perception that Snow White 2025 was barreling toward a very troubled release. The cloud of negativity was so dense that many fans started to wonder if the film could ever find stable ground once critics finally had their say. Cultural commentators widened the lens, suggesting that this entire debacle laid bare deep divisions in Hollywood's approach to legacy properties. On one side, progressive voices argued that time-honored stories must evolve to stay relevant, applauding Rachel for her raw, unfiltered candor, even if it sometimes came off as tactless. On the other side, traditionalists accused her of arrogance, insisting that she had disrespected a sacred piece of film history and that Disney should have known better than to infuriate its loyal, long-standing fan base. The unexpected cameo of the Minecraft movie in all of this, though tangential at first glance, only underscored how corporate pursuits and relentless brand expansions can completely overshadow an existing project before it even gets a proper chance to shine. Thus, the saga of Snow White 2025 evolved into not just a cautionary tale of remaking a beloved classic, but also a dramatic showcase of Hollywood's increasingly complex and often ruthless corporate strategies. For one star, a completely separate project, a Minecraft adaptation, became the unlikely scapegoat for sabotaging her film's prospects. Whether Rachel's accusations hold any weight or not, the narrative that she's pinning the blame on Minecraft quickly embedded itself in public consciousness. It turned into headlines, viral memes, and an ongoing joke, a symbol of how surreal and overblown the entire fiasco had become. In the end, the lasting impact of this multi-layered disaster will depend on how Snow White 2025 is received once it hits theaters, and on how each player, be it Rachel, Disney, or even the Minecraft movie, bounces back. If the film somehow captivates audiences and critics, the drama might eventually fade into a curious footnote. But if it flounders, fans and critics alike will likely look back on these controversies as clear signs of a production that never found its footing. Rachel Ziegler could be burdened with the taint of a high-profile flop, while Disney might face renewed charges of being out of touch with its own storied legacy and passionate fan base. Meanwhile, the Minecraft movie continues to forge ahead, powered by massive brand recognition and an already devoted community. Ironically, every bit of success it enjoys seems to validate Rachel's worst fears, that her modern reimagining of Snow White was sidelined before it even got a fighting chance. Whether her criticisms were justified or blown wildly out of proportion is open for debate, but there's no denying that this entire drama has fed the Hollywood rumor mill, ensuring the saga lingers. Once celebrated for her raw talent, Rachel Ziegler now finds herself embroiled in a spiraling controversy marked by canceled talk show appearances, whispered legal threats, alleged on-set feuds, and a very public meltdown magnified by South Park's biting humor. Disney's executives are scrambling behind the scenes, unsure how to navigate a press environment that's turned hostile, all while trying to safeguard one of their most iconic titles. Fans are watching the spectacle unfold from afar. Some are horrified by what they see as a dismantling of treasured tradition, while others root for a bold, modern reimagining that speaks to today's world. And all the while, the Minecraft movie, which Rachel blames for diverting crucial resources and hype, looms large as a fierce competitor in today's labyrinthine entertainment landscape, poised to capture the attention of millions. No one can say for certain how it will all shake out. Perhaps the controversies will eventually subside, allowing a fresh marketing campaign to highlight the film's redeeming qualities. Maybe Rachel will reconcile publicly with Disney, or even with Gadot, turning the page on this disastrous press cycle. Or possibly, Snow White 2025 will become a cautionary footnote in cinematic history, a film remembered primarily for how wildly it derailed and how, for one surreal moment, Minecraft became intertwined in its downfall. Regardless, the whole meltdown stands as a stark testament to the unpredictable nature of modern franchise filmmaking. It's a world where centuries-old fairy tales can clash with digital-era phenomena, and where a single actress's passionate outburst can spark a firestorm that engulfs everything in its path. In the end, All that remains is to see how the final product fares in theaters, and whether the public, after months of relentless drama, still cares enough to watch it. Rachel Ziegler's future, whether marked by vindication or condemnation, might well hinge on those box office numbers. For Disney, the stakes involve not just immediate profits, but also the long-term preservation of its reputation as the ultimate purveyor of family entertainment. And as for the Minecraft movie, it continues to build anticipation in a completely different corner of the fan universe, seemingly indifferent to the meltdown rocking another major production. Yet, the fact that Rachel Ziegler blames Minecraft for delivering the final blow to Snow White's already fragile public image ensures these two very disparate projects remain inextricably linked in the public imagination. In Hollywood, where perception often trumps reality, that link matters more than ever. Even after the credits roll, this epic saga is likely to persist in Hollywood lore. Social media won't soon forget the chaos, South Park's searing mockery, or the spectacle of an actress railing against a video game adaptation. Generations from now, pop culture aficionados may well revisit this era, dissecting how one live-action remake ignited debates about artistic freedom, corporate ambition, and the delicate balance between honoring tradition and embracing progress. Whether Rachel's decision to lay the blame on the Minecraft movie ends up being dismissed as a mere footnote or analyzed as a vivid example of ruthless studio politics and marketing miscalculations, one thing is clear. What began as a few ill-advised remarks about a 1937 classic ballooned into a cautionary epic of synergy gone awry. In the end, an actress was left bewildered and furious that her dream project was, in her own words, swallowed whole by a blocky video game phenomenon. Such is the unpredictable, interconnected nature of modern entertainment, where every offhand comment is amplified and the line between genuine critique and scapegoating rapidly blurs. Rachel Ziegler learned this brutal lesson in the harshest possible way, and even for a studio as experienced as Disney, reconciling conflicting priorities proved nearly impossible. The Minecraft movie, without even trying, became an unlikely player in a sprawling drama that underscores just how fragile even the biggest of remakes can be. Whether time offers any redemption or only cements, this fiasco remains anyone's guess. For now, this sprawling story is indelibly etched in public memory. Rachel Ziegler, the star of a troubled Disney remake, has surprisingly found her nemesis in the blocky world of Minecraft, and the spectacle shows no sign of dimming.